Welcome back. If you can't tell, I've been doing things a little bit differently the past couple weeks. I haven't been able to upload quite as much, and that is affecting my channel. I mean, it is what it is. If YouTube wants to punish me because I don't upload every 2 to 3 days, I mean, so be it. It's just the way it goes, man. I got to make money. YouTube doesn't pay me, so I have to go work a regular job. Look, I have this whole video scripted. I was going to talk about some Star Wars, but real quick, I just want to let everybody know I'm not really interested in doing Call of Duty anymore. I'm really trying to move away from Call of Duty. I have some ideas for the channel. I might still talk about Call of Duty and video games, but I'll be honest, that stuff has not served me too well. Obviously, what I'm doing is not working. So I'm trying to change things up a little bit, figure something else out here, because it's just not working, guys. All right. But guys, today I'm talking about it. You can see I'm building an AT-AT Lego Star Wars thing here. So I'm going to be talking about some Star Wars again, because I just love Star Wars. And there's been some changes there at Lucasfilm with Kathleen Kennedy out and Dave Filoni coming in. I wanted to talk about Darth Vader again because I think this is the biggest elephant in the room for Disney. This is the biggest elephant in the room for Star Wars. Why we just don't get more of what everybody actually wants. Now, I know there's been these AI generated films coming out, and I know Disney is sending cease and desist letters to this guy because you can't, I get it. I think they're bad. Like, they're good for what they are, but they're bad because they're AI, and I think it gets some things incorrect, but it does capture some of the gravity of the situation, especially when it comes to Vader. We're getting a closer look at what happened to Anakin after Mustafar. I think his surgery was way more intensive and traumatic than the Revenge of the Sith film gave it credit for. You know, you don't really see his chest getting cut open and all these things getting put into his body and so he could survive. I want to talk about Vader because I think there's more, the way that George wrote it, and I think this is past people, the way that George wrote the character. It's just, he's brilliant, man. I gotta give it to him, just the way this character works. I want to talk about why Darth Vader still works and why most villains in Star Wars just don't. So first off, Darth Vader isn't just a villain. He's not even just a character. He is a presence. And that's the most important thing because Star Wars has given us dozens of villains since Vader. You got emperors, generals, dark Jedi, planet killers, so on and so forth. And almost none of them feel the same. It's not even close. So the question isn't why is Vader cool? That's obvious, right? The real question is, why does Vader still work nearly 50 years later? Why so many modern villains just don't pull this off? Let's start with the obvious. It's fear. Vader doesn't rush. He doesn't yell. He doesn't explain himself. He walks into a room like gravity changes. When Vader shows up, the movie slows down. Characters hesitate, music drops, the camera lingers. Even the audience knows that something bad is about to happen, and that's before he does anything. And here's the key. Vader rarely proves himself with spectacle. He doesn't need flashy moves. He doesn't need witty banter. He doesn't need to dominate every scene with action. Half the time, he's just standing there. And somehow, that's worse. A lot of modern villains make the mistake of trying to earn fear through scale, bigger explosions, more destruction, higher body counts. And Vader earns fear through control. When he chokes someone from across the room without looking at them, it's not about power. It's not about effortlessness. He's not angry. He's not emotional. He's disappointed. And that's terrifying. But here's where Vader becomes more than just an intimidating bad guy. He's not evil for fun. Vader doesn't enjoy being Vader. This is what separates himself from almost every one-note villain. Because if Vader were just a monster, he wouldn't last. What makes him stick is that underneath the armor, the breathing, the mask, there's regret, and a lot of it. I think this new AI-generated film of Anakin kind of shows that, where he's kind of processing everything that just happened and how fast it all just fell apart. He really wanted to save Padme and still could not do it. And we're gonna talk about that some more. Anakin Skywalker didn't fall because he just wanted power. He fell because he wanted control over loss. Fear of losing his mother, fear of losing Padme, fear of being powerless. That's relatable. That's uncomfortable. Because Vader isn't a warning about becoming evil. He's a warning about what happens when fear makes every decision for you. The suit matters more than people realize. I think this is the biggest thing. I think the suit really is who, like, when you think Darth Vader, that's the suit. You think of the suit. You think of the man in the suit. You think of that armor. The armor isn't just iconic design. It's a prison. Every breath is mechanical. Every movement is heavy. Every second reminds him of what he lost. Vader doesn't get to forget his mistakes. He gets to wear them. So when people say Vader is redeemed too easily, they miss the point. His punishment wasn't death. It was living as Vader. Now let's talk about something modern storytelling struggles with: restraint. Vader doesn't talk much. When he speaks, it's deliberate, it's measured, and it's final. There's no over-explaining his trauma, no monologues about his feelings, no speeches about his philosophy. Every time he enters a scene, we feel Vader before we understand him, and that's good writing. Contrast that with a lot of newer villains who explain everything, their motivations, their pain, their ideology. It's all spelled out, right? Vader trusts the audience to connect the dots. He's a character who gains depth. The more you pay attention, the more he talks. And then there's his relationship with Luke. This is where Vader becomes legendary, because suddenly the most feared man in the galaxy isn't fighting a hero. He's fighting himself. Every encounter with Luke is different. Vader isn't trying to kill him. He's testing him, probing him, almost hoping. That tension between duty and regret, it's what makes the final confrontation work. When Vader throws the Emperor down the shaft, it isn't this big, heroic moment. It's quiet, it's painful, and it's late, which makes it honest. This is why Vader lasts. It's not because he looks cool, though he does. It's not because he's powerful, though he is. But it's because he feels real. He's what happens when fear wins. He's what happens when control replaces compassion. He's what happens when someone believes they've gone too far to come back. And the scariest part is a lot of people believe that. Darth Vader isn't a villain you beat. He is a villain you survive. And that's why decades later, he stands alone. So lately I've been on this Star Wars kick. I kind of want to explain what got me into this whole Lego thing lately. For Christmas, I got this little mini scale Millennium Falcon. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted, I was like, wow, this thing is cool. And it's like, it's a mini scale. It's not the midi scale. If you're a Legos guy, if you understand the lingo, then it's basically the Millennium Falcon sits in the palm of my hand. I'll probably put it in a little video here. I'll edit it in somehow. So, like, I've gotten into this Lego thing, and I've just been wanting to talk about Star Wars. I've been on a Star Wars kick. I've been watching the old movies, and one thing I'm not watching is the sequel trilogy. It's so bad. And I just don't see how Disney's going to recover from this, even though we have Dave Filoni taking over. And I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, we'll see. But I'll be honest with you, if we're going to get more Star Wars, I really want to see more Vader. I want to see more. I'd be happy with a season 2 of Obi-Wan and leave it at that. But you got to make it take place right after season 1, because it's like we're kind of running out of time here. There's like a 20-year period between Revenge of the Sith and, you know, or the original trilogy. So you got to tighten it up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be something. And I have an idea for Vader, but I don't want to just give it away, because then somebody might take my idea and it's like, nah, dude. I have an idea for season 2 of Obi-Wan, but that's neither here nor there. Guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you tuning in. Everybody that's sticking around. This video is probably not going to do well because YouTube hates this. It wants me to pick a lane and just stay in it and upload every 2 to 3 days. And I just can't. So I hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit the thumbs up for me. Talk shit down in the comments. Until the next one, I'm out of here.